Mexican President Obrador is going to give Julian Assange political asylum. Julian Assange is going to be freed out of that Belmarsh prison. He's not going to be extradited to the United States. The United States is not going to try him for the 17 counts, 175 years. Julian Assange was looking at 175 years, and Judge Vanessa is going to say he could just go free. Judge Vanessa essentially believes most of the 17 counts. She believes the American government's theories about the case. Yet, there's one major exception, one major caveat. Judge Vanessa said that the American prison system is just way too inhumane to permit extradition. So he had his mental state, they thought suicide was possible. And so there you go. Now the U.S. government has 14 days to lodge an appeal. So the Mexican president, Obrador, he is offering him political asylum. So that means Julian Assange gets to go free, and he's got a homeland to go to if he so chooses. So this is fantastic news. This is fantastic news. So who do we think, right? We need to thank all the people that are responsible for a terrible prison industry. Who's responsible for this terrible prison industry? Well, I mean, it's the fascists, right? The fascist asshole, the militarist, the terrible cops, the terrible prosecutors, the terrible prison guards. The terrible, basically just the terrible judges, terrible everybody, the for-profit prison industry. We definitely got to thank them, right? If it wasn't for the for-profit, private, they're trying to make money. They're trying to make money off of crime. Well, they're not going to feed, and they're not going to give the medicine. They're not going to give the people what they're going to do the bare bones minimum, right? So, but they need to get, some heads and beds, right? They need to get. So it's like running a hotel, only you got to get the cops to, run out there and get you some tenants. So this is a terrible, it's a corporation, it's a business structure. Some things just shouldn't be for profit. Health, crime. I mean, how is the private prison industry any different than the mafia? So we got to, thank the private prison industry. We got to thank the people's indifference to others. We got to thank the terrible Constitution, the terrible government. This is democracy, right? It's a democratic republic. So you got to, the terrible people who don't give a damn. So that you got to thank them too. And just everybody who contributed to making America a wretched hellhole. Then by happenstance, made the prisons a hellhole. Right now it's COVID-19, epidemics just spreading everywhere, and people are sitting there saying, well, they're prisons, they're a bunch of criminals. Are we just throwing criminals in there? I'm pretty sure last I checked, we're still throwing, marijuana. Well, someone smoked a joint, you threw them in jail, and now you just killed them with COVID-19? Jesus Christ. So just, everybody that helped to contribute to make the prison industry a wretched hellhole, just thank you, because if it wasn't for all you guys, then Julian Assange wouldn't get to go free. Here's Fiorella. She's speaking on Force the Vote.
Her medicine is $12,000 per syringe. And when she gave them their insurance, it was $14.
That's a crime.
It is a crime, because some people don't have health insurance, and their parents die, their siblings die, and they can't do anything about it. And you know what? We've come to this point where it's not enough to simply just talk about it and say we're going to push this committee and we're going to push this envelope. No, we have to put our bodies on the levers of power and take over.
You're goddamn right.
That's absolutely what we have to do. So you guys, just so you know, all of these things are...
The guy in the background sounds like he's being sarcastic, but he's absolutely right. So he might think he, but he's actually getting the crowd going. So what? Well, apparently, America, we need to fix our prison industry. We got a lot of problems in this nation. We need to fix a lot of problems, but our prison industry, our prison system is inhumane as fuck. So I think we need to look to other nations, just out of the great pool of ideas, the best ideas should prevail. So let's look at all the best nations of the world. Let's look at all the best nations of the world and, see what they are doing better than us and see how we can improve our prison industry. We need to look at China's prison industry, Russia's prison industry, North Korea's prison industry. What is it that they are doing that is kinder and gentler, right? We need to go to the kindler, gentler nations who aren't just throwing everybody in prisons by the fucking boatload, by the, train load, by the plane load, by the, poverty load. I don't know, but, you know what I'm trying to say, America. You know what I'm trying to say, I think. I hope.
Whether it's Julian Assange, Medicare for all, not getting a $2,000 stimulus, we should be protesting for all of these things. All of them. The fact that Biden, who was the number 5 candidate, and Kamala Harris, who couldn't even win her own state, are now supposed to take over the presidency? You think Bernie Sanders wasn't cheated? You think that our elections are real? Our elections are not real. We don't have democracy in this country. We need to accept that. We need to move past it. We need to understand that we live in an oligarchy, and you cannot simply expect to reform a party that doesn't want you, that has stolen from you and has ransacked everything you have gotten. This is your money. You are entitled to this, not because you want a handout, but because your government is supposed to provide and take care of you, and if they don't, according to the Declaration of Independence, you have the right to overthrow that government. And what I am saying is simply, you have to demand that power. You cannot simply expect them to give it to you because they won't. So stop thinking in reform and start thinking in terms of actual revolution, direct action industry. So I want to thank you all for being